Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have both been making their closing arguments. For Kamala, it's a message of unity, hope, and check out who my friends are.
A megawatt all-star lineup on the trail. You can see some of the scenes right there on your screen.
Performances from musicians like Mumford & Sons and Gracie Abrams.
She has Glorilla out here. She has Cardi B, who wasn't even going to vote 4 months ago.
Making a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live, playing the mirror image of actress Maya Rudolph's version of her.
She is leaning on some big names like Katy Perry, Oprah, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, The Roots, and others to help get her across the finish line.
Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Ricky Martin. If you stole their album on LimeWire, they're probably endorsing Kamala Harris. She's coming for every last Soul Cycle vote. Now, while Kamala's ending the campaign on a note of joy and celebrity hype, Donald Trump's closing argument is that he's pissed at basically everyone.
Do you want to see me knock the hell out of people backstage? You're going to get a bunch of crooks and horrible people. She's a dumb person. Guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, he'll probably be a senator. Can you believe it? Watermelon head. What an ugly guy, both inside and out. It's a very demonic party. And I have this piece of glass here. And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because
he's just casually joking about reporters getting shot. You know, I guess you'd be grouchy, too, if you had to do all your campaign events encased in glass like a stick of deodorant at Walgreens. But Trump wasn't just giving off dark vibes. He was also giving off a weird sexual energy.
I came in today, I said, and you know, this is after 4 of these things. I mean, in all fairness, I mean, I'm a human being, right? I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, it's too low. So, I had to go. Way too low. Way too low.
What are we doing here, people? I hate to say it, but can we please go back to the hand job routine, please? I mean, you know a campaign has gone off the rails when you go to watch C-SPAN and it asks if you're over 18. But blowing a mic stand isn't even the weirdest part of his closing message. The weirdest part is that with just a few days to go, he's now telling us, oh, by the way, RFK Jr. is going to do all the president stuff.
And I told a great guy, RFK Jr., I said, Bobby, you work on women's health, you work on health, you work on what we eat, you work on pesticides, you work on everything. The one thing you have to let me do, Bobby, I got to work the liquid gold. You're not going to touch that.
You're not going to touch that, no. Let me work the liquid gold, Bobby. Let me work it. Okay, let me get this straight. So you're going to give RFK Jr. women's health, regular health, food, pesticides, and, quote, everything. And in return, you're just going to suck all the oil out of the ground? This is a lot of new shit to drop on us the day before Election Day. You spent 2 years talking about tariffs, and now you're like, oh, by the way, the guy with brainworms is in charge of everybody's health. You need me, I'll be in Texas working the drills. You know, you might be thinking, Trump is just talking out of his ass. But RFK Jr. doesn't think so, because unlike getting rid of a bear corpse, he's put a lot of thought into this.
Over the weekend, Kennedy tweeted the Trump administration would, quote, advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from public water on day 1. The CDC recommends fluoride in water as a cost-effective way to improve oral health.
Trump telling NBC News the fluoride removal idea, quote, sounds okay to me.
Does this sound okay? Again, this is 2 days before the election. We haven't talked about this at all in the last 700 days, but suddenly the thing that's been normal in this country for 80 years, it's like, we're going to get rid of that on day 1. I mean, where did this come from? Even the people who wrote Project 2025 were like, fluoride, did we put that in here? This whole campaign, I've been prepping for the worst case scenario, but not the weirdest case scenario. Now I gotta worry about soft teeth. You know how many Trump rallies I've been to? Do you know how many? Do you know how many? Not once did I ever hear him say, people's teeth are too hard, we're gonna fix that. Never!
Here's what we know, is that we don't really know anything, and that we're going to come out of this election and we're going to make all kind of pronouncements about what this country is and what this world is. And the truth is, we're not really going to know shit. And we're going to make it seem like this is the finality of our civilization and this and thing. We're all going to have to wake up tomorrow morning and work like hell to move the world to the place that we prefer it to be. And I just want to point out, just as a matter of perspective, that the lessons that our pundits take away from these results, that they will pronounce with certainty, will be wrong. And we have to remember that. If you're in 2008, when Barack Obama won,
there's no question that this is the beginning, the first election of the future, really. And I think we are moving towards a post-racial America.
Yeah, that lasted a day. And then, of course, in 2012, Obama won again. And the lesson was...
The GOP needs to send a powerful signal to Hispanic voters that the party respects them.
That was the lesson they learned after that victory. And they were certain of it. And send a powerful signal to the Hispanic community, the GOP did.
When Mexico sends its people, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Which apparently was the winning message. And that taught Democrats in 2016 what?
Maybe what the Democrats will be looking for is somebody with some inside experience, but who's a generation younger.
It's obviously going to be younger. It's going to be from a new generation.
Need I say it?
It's a great honor and humility. I accept this nomination.
And that turned out to be a winning message again, which led to an insurrection. And the lesson from that was...
When Donald Trump leaves office on Wednesday morning, he will leave Washington a pariah.
Donald Trump will never be allowed to set foot in the Capitol again. Never.
Ever. My point is this. But this isn't the end. I promise you, this is not the end. And we have to regroup, and we have to continue to fight and continue to work day in and day out to create the better society for our children, for this world, for this country, that we know is possible. It's possible.
Yesterday was Election Day. We were all hoping it would make history, and boy, did it ever.
Mr. Trump made history last night. He will be the first convicted felon to be president of the United States.
Official, America's elected its first criminal president before electing its first female president. What a day for proud felonists. What the actual America? We have had two qualified, accomplished women nominated for president, and both times they lost to the worst man in the whole country. It's starting to feel like we're going to get every other first before we get a first woman president, first Amish president, first Wahlberg president. Hey, there's no rule that says a dog can't be president as long as it's a boy dog. But instead of breaking the glass ceiling, last night America decided to get back with her dirtbag ex, and I had no idea how much she missed him.
Overnight, a stunning victory for Donald Trump.
Blowing through the so-called blue wall of Midwest states.
In county after county across the country, improving on his margin of victory in past races.
Suburban areas, rural areas, even big cities and bluer parts of the map all tipped in his direction.
It is a sweeping and stunning victory, unlike any in our history. It will be studied and debated for generations.
Aww. We're gonna last generations? That is the optimism I was looking for. Thanks, George Slopadopoulos. That's your legal name now. But that's right, Trump is on track to win every single swing state and the popular vote. Just like the relationship between Trump and Eric, this one wasn't close at all. Oh my God. I have 4 more years of Eric jokes. F me. Just think about what happened here. America voted this guy out in 2020. And what has he done since then? He tried to overthrow the government. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He spent an entire campaign promising vengeance against his enemies. And if you're wondering who, after all of that, would want to back him up, well, buckle up. It's a long list.
The former president winning with a coalition driven by white voters, men, and first-time voters.
Young men in union households.
Those older voters.
Voters age 45 to 64.
Those younger than the age of 30.
Black men, Latino men, suburban women, Arab Americans, and white men.
So, all of America. All of America. You just listed all of America. Seems the only group she can't blame for Trump's victory are black women and people in comas. Oh, and puppies. Or puppies in comas. God damn it, I just made myself more sad. So it's undeniable that Trump gained with practically every demographic. It's mind-boggling. But thankfully, cable news is on 24 hours a day, so pundits can incessantly play the blame game. How did this happen?
I think Democrats went way too far to the left.
Got it. Okay, Kamala was too far left, didn't embrace centrists.
It is perhaps the strategy so forcefully embracing Republicans like the Liz Cheneys.
Okay, sorry. I see she embraced centrists too much. What else?
She wouldn't really stand and back the Israelis.
She wasn't pro-Israel enough, all right?
The base of the party, it cares about Gaza, and by not bringing a Palestinian on stage to the DNC, these are not the base values of the Democratic Party.
Or pro-Palestinian enough. Okay, was that it?
I think that Kamala Harris had this albatross around her neck, and it was Joe Biden. She couldn't distance herself from Biden and couldn't think of anything that she would have done differently.
Right. I see it now. Kamala didn't distance herself enough from Joe Biden. And let me guess.
It is probably not the best idea that Democrats orchestrated a very public stab fest, a proverbial stabbing in the front of the sitting president of the United States of America, and then didn't use him in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Okay. So she betrayed Joe Biden, but was also too close to Joe Biden. This is all making sense if I just put all the pieces together. Who knows? Who knows? Look, as productive as this feels right now, I'm not really interested in gaming out how exactly this happened. This defeat was so resounding that you could literally say anything and it would be plausible. She should have picked Mu Dang for her VP. She should have gone on the Hop to a Girls podcast. Maybe she visited Wisconsin too much. Sure, that makes sense. Why not? Honestly, I don't really care why she lost. I care why he won. We have spent so much time diagnosing Donald Trump and what his actions say about him. He's a dictator. He's a fascist. He's a malignant narcissist whose blood type is fryer oil. But it's pretty clear that America is the one that needs the diagnosis, because whatever's wrong with him, we love it. In this moment, Donald Trump is holding up a mirror to the American people, and it might be time to take a good hard look.
It's a new day in America. Can you feel the delights? All that sunshine and roses or whatever makes people happy? No? Okay, well, maybe you're not looking hard enough.
We're going to begin, though, with the start of the something that makes this country so great. When it happens, we're talking about the promise of a peaceful transfer of power.
Whoa! Peaceful transfer of power. Let's hear it for the bare minimum of a democracy. The first step of this was Kamala Harris calling Donald Trump to promise that she wouldn't do what he tried to do.
The vice president called President-elect Trump to congratulate him. According to a senior Harris aide, the vice president discussed the importance of a peaceful transfer of power.
Yes, Kamala called Trump, conceded the race, and told him there should be a peaceful transfer of power. And you know, as soon as Trump hung up the phone, he was like, yeah, that's great, pussies. So I guess American democracy still works as long as the guy who likes overthrowing the government wins the election, because then he won't overthrow the government. So with the transfer happening, we're going to be talking about Trump again every day for another 4 years, I guess. And I, for one, did not think that when I came out of the jungles of Malaysia to do comedy that I would be making jokes about Donald Trump every day for 13 years straight. 13 years. I don't talk about anybody as much as I don't talk about my mom as much as I talk about this guy. I don't talk about my wife as much as I talk about this guy. Dude, my wife thinks I'm having an emotional affair with him. I'm going to be talking about this guy on my deathbed, okay? Which I assume will be in 3 years when he somehow brings back the bubonic plague. And you might be sitting at home saying, well, Ronnie, why don't you just shut the up about Trump? Well, for the same reason CNN doesn't shut the up about him. Money! Lots and lots of money! So let's get these dollars right now and get back to Donald Trump. And you know what? Attitude is everything. I'm going to be optimistic. If Donald Trump can get some good people around him this time, maybe he'll do good for the country. I mean, who is he getting to help him with the transition?
I'm going to be heavily involved on the transition.
Great. It's take your dumb ass to work day. And what qualifications would Don Jr. be looking for?
I want to make sure, now that we know who the real players are, the people who will actually deliver on the president's message, the people who don't think that they know better than the duly elected president of the United States.
Yeah, no more smart people. Only people who look at my idiot dad and go, what a genius. And where is Trump going to find people who will do whatever he says? I mean, didn't they all die when they injected themselves with bleach? So let's see who these people are.
75 days from now, Trump returns to the White House, and right now there is an intense focus on who he will surround himself with. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, possibly former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, maybe Secretary of Defense, former acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, perhaps reappointed.
Okay. You know what? Actually, not as bad as I expected. Marco Rubio, Mike Pompeo, they're basically professional political administrators, right? At least they're wearing suits and ties. It could be worse.
And then there's some, shall we say, more unusual names. Steve Bannon, conspiracy nut Laura Loomer, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Elon Musk.
Okay, yeah, it's worse. This cabinet looks like the division of the X-Men for the mutants who had too much mutation. They're like, hey, what's your mutant power? I just talk like this, and people trust me with their help. Okay, so this is the A-team, and other names floated for his cabinet include Hannibal Lecter, the Menendez brothers, the polio virus, and for Secretary of Transportation, a Cybertruck with a Hitler mustache. Now, Don Jr. isn't the only one thinking about the transition. So is the guy who has spent the last 2 years trying to transition Trump into a prison cell.
Tonight, Special Counsel Jack Smith is now signaling he'll wind down his 2 federal cases against President-elect Trump.
The January 6th criminal case and the classified documents case are effectively over. DOJ guidelines are clear. You cannot prosecute a sitting president.
Great. Trump gets off with no punishment. It's just as the famous quote says, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards, sorry, we're out of time, he's president now. Apparently, you can just get away with your crimes if you win the presidency. And that sound you just heard is Diddy forming an exploratory committee for 2028. I mean, he doesn't even need any policies. He just hands out behind other people's policies going, yeah. So not only does he get off on January 6th, Trump also gets off on stolen documents. In fact, not only are they not going to prosecute him, they have to put the documents back where they found them, scattered around his toilet in Mar-a-Lago. Trump gets to be president. He doesn't have to go to prison, which means he doesn't have to sneak in a tanning bed up his rectum. And probably the best part for him is having the guy who kicked him out of the White House welcome him back.
Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition.
Oh my God, we get it, okay? You people love transferring power peacefully. It's on and on about it. Hey, maybe if Democrats tried an insurrection once in a while, they could actually start winning something. Because, hey, apparently, there's no punishment for it anyway. It's just a free shot. I mean, if it works, you stay in office, and if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. But, of course, Joe Biden couldn't call it quits without reminding people that his administration was about more than just you paying $50 for eggs.
Much of the work we've done is already being felt by the American people, but the vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in.
Cool. All his good decisions are kicking in just in time for Donald Trump to take credit for them. Perfect execution as usual, Democrats.